Welcome to the podcast, Planning with Purpose. This is Raymond Lavine. Things people do not understand about long-term care planning is today's topic. Many people want to believe that Medicare or Medicaid will pay for the long-term care benefits. So why plan in advance? Medicare is primarily for medical and hospital services, with some short-term exceptions. Medicare does not pay for longer-term caregiving over 90 days, such as bathing, dressing, or other activities of daily living. Medicare may cover short-term stays in a skilled nursing facility after a hospital stay, but will not pay for home or care center services other than short-term recovery care from surgery or recovery from an illness authorized by a doctor and approved by Medicare services. Medicaid, the government program for low-income individuals, may cover long-term care services. However, there are eligibility requirements. People may think they are entitled to Medicaid. However, health and financial requirements need to be met to be considered and approved for Medicaid social services. Long-term care services can take many forms depending on the level of assistance needed. It may be in-home care, assisted living facilities, nursing homes, or cognitive care. Knowing these options will empower you and your family to make the best decisions for your caregiving. People believe or have heard that caregiving doesn't need planning and that it is easy. Families often underestimate the physical and emotional toll of being a long-term caregiver. Another issue that is not considered is the expense of caregiving for those who need caregiving and those who will be responsible for caregiving. It's important to have a realistic expectation and consider all care options. Being prepared and aware of the potential challenges because this will help you and your family to make informed decisions. Care planning can wait, and it is usually postponed to just-in-time planning because it is thought of as it won't happen to me or it is unpleasant to think about. It may seem that it is more enjoyable to think about personal purchases such as a vehicle, internet, television, appliances, or a vacation. As with retirement planning, the sooner you address long-term care planning along with your retirement and estate planning, the more choices you will have regarding where you want your care, who will be responsible for your caregiving, and planning in advance to have sufficient funds to pay for caregiving services. Planning in advance allows for proactive discussions with loved ones, which will give you a sense of control over your future. Thinking about needing someone to help you, whether part-time or full-time with long-term care illness, isn't enjoyable. Being proactive in case you need caregiving will make a world of difference for you and your loved ones. What kind of care does long-term care cover? There are various services. You could have in-home care aides come in a few times a week or more days as you need more assistance with activities of daily living, or you might need to transition to assisted living facility with meals and housekeeping included. Nursing homes are for the highest level care needs. Another high level care service is for people with cognitive disease. If you don't have a plan or money, it is an issue for families who will have no choice but to transfer you to a care center. If you have a caregiving plan, it allows you and your family to have choices while remaining where you live, which is what most people want, so long as they are qualified people to help you with your daily needs. Another misconception I often hear is that adult children will care for their parents. Many families are fortunate to have that support. However, it is useful and helpful to be realistic about what it really means to be a caregiver. Caregiving can be a physically and emotional strain and an ongoing financial expense, both for those who need caregiving and those who will be responsible for caregiving. People don't consider the financial consequences of not having a plan until they have a caregiving situation. Having a plan in advance removes some of the burden of starting from the beginning with caregiving. What is crucial to start planning early? The earlier you begin, the more options with where and who will be responsible for your care. Having conversations with your family about your wishes allows you to plan ahead about how you will fund your caregiving. You will have time to take out a reverse mortgage, sell some life insurance, create a reserve fund, invest in your retirement programs, or explore owning a long-term care insurance benefit. Speaking of finances, how does long-term care insurance fit into the picture? Various long-term care plans are available depending on the state you live. In another podcast, I will provide a more comprehensive explanation of the available long-term care benefits. Here's a summary. There are traditional long-term care benefits, there are hybrid benefits, short-term care plans, True Freedom, which is a subscription plan, and that's available in all states, and annuity guaranteed long-term care benefits. Okay, I need to get started, but I don't know where to begin. What are some initial steps you can take? Start by gathering information. The National Institute on Aging and the Administration for Community Living have great resources online. Talk to your doctor about your future health goals. Consult with your attorney about your will and estate plan. Your wealth or financial advisor will be responsible to advise you with investing your assets. Owning a long-term care plan is a value. Owning a long-term care is a value to most people who are in reasonably good health. And the good news is that many states there are extended care benefits that have simplified underwriting for people with health issues not covered by regular long-term care benefits. Their financial advisor often tell people that if they have sufficient assets and income at a certain level, there's no need to own a long-term care plan. They can self-fund, or what they also call self-insure. This may be true if caregiving lasts a few months or perhaps a few years. Your estate plan, if it lasts longer, will probably be affected if caregiving goes on for years or decades. My mother had sufficient assets to pay for care. She needed caregiving for 18 years and was pleased she owned a long-term care plan. Most importantly, have that conversation with your loved ones. Here's where you can contact me, Raymond Lavine, at 253-275-6091, or go to my website, www.lavineltcins.com. Please subscribe to The Prepared Caregiver. Experience a beautiful day in your neighborhood.